What's up, everybody? Dom Jackson, Day by Day Media, vlogging the process of me growing the business, the steps, the in and outs, all the fun things that happen. I don't have a cool name for it yet, but I will. Right now, it's called the vlog. I was gonna call it the D vlog, but then I was like, vlog just doesn't sound good. A lot of things about it just don't sound like how I want to come across to the people. So, right now it is what it is, and I'll have more things coming on. But, at least a video every Monday, raw, thoughts, insights, things you can do for your own business, things that I'm doing for myself that might help you out too. So if you're interested in business as a whole, interested in me, interested at just watching someone kind of go through it the same way you would watch a reality TV show, and now you got it live in hand. So we building Day by Day Media. And, one thing I want to talk about too, content wise, which I think a lot of people need to understand in the beginning, that, there's a couple different avenues you can go. There's always the education versus entertainment. That's two of the biggest, decides of what you want to do, deciding where do you want to go. Are you going to entertain people? Is it laughs? Is it, to make them cry? Is it to make them more emotional? Or is it more education when you're teaching them something? A combination of both is obviously going to be the best thing you can do, because people that laugh are probably going to learn more. You ever had a good teacher that was really like, oh, I learned a lot from so-and-so because they were so entertaining and involved, everything they did. You learned a lot from that person. At the same time, you have to figure out what that best medium is for you. This is a third combination of the two of them, which is documentation. So documentation is just me just being me and just saying what's happening to me, which is a little bit education, a little bit entertainment as well. So it's a great spot for a lot of people to go to that don't know what to do, because you don't have to make anything up. You can just say what the fuck you're going through and then put that shit out. Like, it's just like, it's the easiest way. You can definitely have content out consistently because you're living anyway. So figuring out how you want to put that out, whether it be blogs, vlogs, podcasts, however you want to do it, photos, is a great way for you to kind of just put out the process of what you're doing. And even if you don't know what you're doing, you can at least do this and then tell people you don't know what you're doing. And you have content, and then someone could say, oh, I either care or don't care. And most people don't even care. Like, you can put up a lot of things because there's so much outlandish shit on the internet already that you really can't even, like, to even stand out, like, someone has to really want to care and watch what you're doing. So just put that little tidbit in your head already right now. But one of the next things that I'm working on right now, I decided this week, that I'm going to be focusing more on podcasts, doubling down on podcasts as a whole. I had 3 different shows that I did already since 2018. I have, had a bunch of different formats: in person, co-host, solo, just a lot of different things I've done podcast-wise. I think it's important to really double down and figure out where you can really win competitively. So if I'm a marketing agency, but now I'm a marketing agency for podcasts, okay, what does that look like? 'Cause I already have some podcast clients too, so like I can really just invest that time into helping them grow more. And with the things I learned more on the podcast side, whether it be setup, creation, inception, the growth, branding, getting sponsors, getting guests, like all the things that go with that, tie into media as a whole as well. So it's not even like I'm basically compounding the same skill in multiple different ways. So it's almost like I did niche down, but I didn't niche down because I probably could do these other things for someone else regardless. So it's super cool to have that just thought process now, because now I'm like, all right, at least how I think about things content wise, SEO wise, like, oh, podcast this, how to do a podcast on YouTube. So I'm still doing the YouTube focus because I need to have one major platform to focus on. But now I'm going to focus on podcasting, how podcasts can grow on YouTube as well. That's the way, like, that's where I'm in currently, because just like, you got to just stick to one thing and really just knock out the way and get it there. So I think that's super cool. Another thing that I did a lot too was that just resetting my goals for 2024 to make some adjustments. I had some in the beginning at the end of 2023 in December, but I had to rethink about things with this new set of shit that I'm putting out for, well, not new set of shit, but like the new things that I'm doing in my business. Like, if I'm going to niche down a little bit more, I have to make sure my goals align with that. So all the actions fall into place to make the little ding, 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 ding. All the little things come together and make the best, big, beautiful thing possible. So I was looking up, like, all right, I'm going to make this much money, Do I make my money, base my goals off how much money I need for my actual life, how much money I want to have, or how much does the market say? Because there's always a balance between what the business and the market actually does, like people actually willing to pay, and then what you actually want to do for yourself. So it's like, find that happy ground between the two of them over and over again, and doing that continuously in perpetuity, which is a term I learned too. But doing that over and over again, and then kind of seeing what actually works, wherever the real result is. A lot of the time, it's just you just figuring out how to figure things out. It's like you might have one thing go wrong, and then like 10 other things go right, or everything go wrong, and then realize you got to shift again to go right. So this is definitely challenging, and I got signed up for the challenge too. But I was looking up the terms of things I'm learning. So like what gross profit, net profit, income. Like there's a lot of different things. There's a lot of different terms that you wouldn't even know, top of the line. Like a lot of different terms you wouldn't even know money-wise to even set the goals. Like, I want to make, $5,000, but you want to make that $5,000 gross or $5,000 net. Are you going to make it, are you going to cash flow $5,000? Because if you're making $5,000 and you're spending $4,000, you're only netting $1,000. So like there's like little things like that. It's like, all right, where in the game, what are the rules of this game? How do I play this game? And how do I play this game properly? But yeah, you're just figuring out how to figure it out, and just all the time, just figuring out how to figure things out. And like one thing that was really kind of getting me upset, because I have to figuring out, what things to focus on and what the most important thing is, then figuring out how to balance whatever personal life things happen at the moment. What I'm going to eat today, my car, something happened with my car, like little first world problems, but stuff that's like annoying when you're trying to figure out stuff that's way harder than you haven't done before. So the combination of being like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I haven't done this before. I have to figure out how to do something I haven't done before. And then like my car did this or the store did this. It's just like, it's more extra brain space you don't want to have to put something else. And it's real fucking annoying sometimes. But then I had like, one day I was like, it was Wednesday, I was like, oh man, this is terrible. Like I'm angry, like, I hate this so much. It's driving me crazy. Why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me in my life? This is so terrible. It's the worst day ever. I can't figure out how to make the sale here, how to make the product better here, how to get the videos done here and all this stuff. And it's like, wait a second, bro. What are you doing? You're like getting your like little negative Nancy bag. And you're like, oh my God, everything's going so crazy. Everything's nuts. It's like, no. Relax. Yo, relax. Had to like, like slap myself in the face. Like, hey, relax. And it was like, yo, everything you did, you chose to do. Everyone you care about a lot, alive and healthy. Anything you're happening to you right now is your own choice, own fault. Like, you did this, you chose this, shut up. And I was like, yeah, you're right, me. You kind of end up talking to yourself a lot more than you need to, whether it be out loud or to cameras or just in your own head. You got to really be like, fight the little, whatever the hell's going on in your head. But then I was like, you know what? Then it hit me. It was like, nah, this is tough, but I'm strong enough to take whatever you throw at me. Bring it on, bitch. Bring it on. And that's like the mentality I had to bring in, because it was like, yo, if not, there's always going to be an excuse to complain. There's always something to be mad about. There's always a reason to be like, oh, this sucks, and I just give up. But not going to do that. So the shift of like, good, give me more problems, like feed me more, feed me, what else you got, is the place I have to bring myself back to when I feel like I'm like, oh, I don't know what to do, I'm overwhelmed. Because the only way you can come out of that mental just like, of like, oh, everything's a problem, everything's bad, this shit's hard as hell, because it is, and it should be. And when you're making a new path, it should be hard. And when you sign up to be someone making a new path, you should be going through hard shit. And I mean, it's going to be upsetting, but healthy, good, gratitude, all the good things, call my parents, do something to get me in that better like world space. And then I'm back to being the fucking gladiator. But yeah, bring it on, bitch, is how I'm coming all 2024 and now on. It's just like, hey, I'll take it, Another super thing that it's kind of cool thing that I was really thinking about too, with the switch of making the niche, a lot of times it's like, yo, I don't want to make the wrong move. And where I'm at right now is still very new, and where where I feel most people are is still very new. But I think a lot of time ends up being lost and just not doing stuff. So when I'm like in that kind of place, I'm like, all right, just do something wrong. And doing something wrong is a lot more freeing. Not that you should do the wrong thing, but doing something wrong and saying, hey, this could be the wrong thing, but it's okay, puts you in that action state again. And the action's the real thing that helps you go into each spot. Because you get there one day at a time. But if you have 6 days to do the wrong thing, but you do the one right thing on 7, but then that right thing on 7 teaches you how to do the right thing for the next 7 and the next 14 and 21 and blah, 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 then, it's just 6 days out of the month you kind of fucked up, but the rest is okay. So it's not that bad of a setup as long as you're not just in like, I can't do this mode, which is something that happens a lot because you like new things to handle, I don't know what to do, but it's awesome. And with that, I like one of the big things that Gary Vee says when he talks about when you're trying to decide what product to make as a creator or entrepreneur or wherever you are. If you decide to make something based off something you actually like doing or something you actually have interest in, even if it may not always be the best thing fiscally that people would tell you, because you have to do it and you're the person that's doing it and you're the vehicle of what's doing it. So even if something may not be the best move for everyone, or like what the market would say, if you like it enough, you'll keep doing it enough to figure out how to get it done. Which I think is a really good viewpoint to take a lot of certain decisions business-wise. It may not always be the best advice for everyone in there, depending on what kind of business you have. But if your biggest vehicle is you, and your biggest vehicle is your drive to do something, if you like something, you're going to keep doing it enough to figure out how to get the money around it. Versus if you like the money of something, you may not like it enough to get the actual money, unless that's what's driving you, which is good too. It depends what kind of person you are. But I know with me, I have to like the shit. So if I make the move for something, have something I actually like doing, and then I can do everything else around that space to keep the ecosystem going, because I got to have if the love's not there, then fuck everything else. Because I'm not building a business to just make money that I hate. So it's a good point for me to base my decisions off of when I'm in that kind of space. I'm like, all right, cool. What can keep this sustainable for me to keep going long term? And what can I do that the market needs, that I need, so we can find that happy medium and be able to rock and roll, which is a super great concept to have, because it's going to take me if I follow this principle from now until, whatever the fuck, forever, then it just keeps me in that game of like, all right, what's next? It feels good. It's doing great. I love it. Another thing I think is super important now that people could spend more time with doing or testing out. I'm going to test out more myself, and I'm just seeing more people doing it. Live stream is super, super, super huge right now. There's a lot of people out there doing big things between Twitch, between TikTok Live. My new theory that I'm living with on is that attention is the only real thing that's real. Everything else is kind of just whatever. And what I mean by that is when someone is watching someone else live, it is a very unique experience, because aside from being in person, two people watching each other, someone watching someone else on a live stream is a very real and hard to recreate scenario, because you have to be there at the same time. When someone's watching you on a video, they're watching the video, but they're watching the video. You recorded it one time, they're watching the video on their own time. So it's a different relationship with you and the viewer. But if you guys are doing the same thing at the same time, you can't fake that. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, being in person, its own thing, but digitally, being live at the same time with someone else is the highest level of, I want to say intimacy. I don't know if that's the word to use for this, but people that watch you live consistently, or watch you live period, are definitely have a deeper connection with you and loyalty to you than, I would say, someone who only watches the videos or read your stuff, because it's just, you both have to take the time to do it, which is a big thing. it's still on like the growing side of things. That's where I am right now. So with live streaming being one big thing, with Twitch being so huge, a lot of Twitch stars coming out. With the NPC trend people doing like yep, da, 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 like that, people watching people live and having them do things for them on the live stream is a thing that's been happening, but like seeing it more happening now. There's a lot of opportunity for people to be doing it. You don't have to do the NPC thing. You don't have to scream like and go crazy like all the kids out there yelling all the wild stuff. You just have to figure out what you do normally. So you could just do. I was thinking about live streaming this. I just didn't have the setup yet, but you can just do what you would do already as, you know, your show, your field, and just live stream that, and you know, see how what you can make from there. But there's something there that is at a different level than everything else, because it's so hard to recreate that moment because you have to be there at the same time. Like both people have to be there at the same time. And then with TikTok showing people lives to other people, so when they're scrolling on their feed, like you could just stumble into a live stream by accident. That's not a thing that a lot of places have going on consistently. So there's a big opportunity there, I think, for a lot of people to grow their show, grow their brand personalities, just hanging out on a live stream and doing your regular shit. Side note, shout out to the Seven Spheres of Money. You know, opened up the Pom Pom Resort in Zanzibar. Huge play over there. Very excited for him. Super pumped to see that. I actually saw John Henry start putting up his like vlogish type thing where he kind of goes off the cuff and just talks about where he's at business wise. And I was like, cool. I'm doing the same thing right now. I started mine January 1st. But it was just cool to be like, hey, this is someone who I know is doing big things in the space with Loop, that I was like, cool. It's good. I like when I do something, I see people that I admire in the same space too doing something similar, because I'm like, all right, cool. I'm not the only one thinking like this. It's fast. This is a fast, efficient way to make content, get something out, you know, just get messy, get your hands dirty. And you guys watch something and I get something for me too. Absolutely great. I also had a YouTube thumbnail photo shoot because I was like, you know what? I have to make more thumbnails for this bad boy. If you're on a YouTube channel, the thumbnail and title is the most important thing before you even watch the video. So I don't want to leave that thumbnail up to chance, because I don't want to just have to make one each time and have it risk being ugly. So I was like, let me just mass produce some thumbnails, some photos for the thumbnails, and mass produce those. But, you know, it's real simple. Another thing that I saw, you know, Club Shay Shay, Shannon Sharpe had his podcast with Cat Williams. At this point, I think the video is about 2 weeks old. The interview is about 2 weeks old. 52 million views currently. Insanity. Between dropping stuff about the industry, shooting shots at people, you know, Cat Williams' personality as a whole, the dynamic between him and Shannon Sharpe. One of the best things I think I saw from that most podcasters or people in media in whole can really do using that interview, I think one of the biggest catalysts of it, besides the two people that were on it, was that Shannon already had a lot of other comics, a lot of people that Cat Williams talked about inside of his interview were people that were already on the show. This is my whole rant for the day. You know, super thankful to have you all on here. Thank you for watching. Drop a comment below if you like the vlogs, you made it this far. Appreciate you so much. Take it one step at a time, and you'll get there day by day.